All right, so we went through the game, got 2 endings so far. One was, I guess, all about ÜLAR, the character we've been following, kind of like being in the care of that scientist, question mark? It seems like a scientist kind of person, researcher, Reen, and their kind of relationship. And the other ending, we we met a few, met like a few different characters. We kind of met Icar, I guess. He was a strange sort, and he was kind of afraid of us for some reason. But, we kind of just ended up like wandering around, not really following Reen's instructions in the other ending, and ended up in the pit where we started eating something. I don't know, it was strange. And so we got those 2 endings. And real quick, before, I think there's only one path to proceed from here, is to go back to the situation where we ended up, I guess, fighting with our other self, the clone, or, are we the fake ones? I don't know, but the other ÜLAR. And ended up in a situation where they capture us, they're interrogating us, and then we need to put in some kind of code word for some reason. I don't know why, but that's what we need to do. I actually want to start in the beginning real quick, because, you know what? I actually misinterpreted the entire introduction of this game, actually. I thought there's something to do with like a hacker or something. But looking back, I'm just going to go through real quick, because, we already did this, and this is just the advertisement section. But I think what happened in the beginning is the character that we saw was actually, I think he even said, this person forming in right now, it was actually, I'm just waiting. Well, I'm just gonna say it's actually Heino, if you pay attention. You see these patterns over here? I thought it was some kind of like hacking thing. It could still be, but you see Heino here? They're like using their telekinesis to stop this echo from going inside their body, and that, as we've learned, that's actually what happened, actually. Apparently, these echoes love to enter Raincoat Hjörians. But there you go, it says like, yeah, welcome, Heino, what's ancestral well-being today? I'm gonna say unmotivated this time. I don't know if it matters. I don't think it matters. Don't dwell on the past. And yeah, Heino is a problem solver, and they ended up on this dome, I guess. It looked like they were like landing on a planet or something. That's what it seemed to me. But I guess they're just entering a dome. You got a new problem. Mr. Rainer, if you remember, is kind of like this announcement kind of character, right? It's kind of like, as far as I understand, it's kind of like Hatsune Miku. And for some reason, Mr. Rainer was talking to ÜLAR directly, which was weird. Gunnar mentioned that. Anyway, so I interpret this kind of wrong, but I guess, yeah, it was just simply Heino doing his job. Right? You see this giant, like, echo, I guess, kind of like a carrier type. And you see these patterns, right? For some reason, I thought it was just a coincidence that it appeared in the prologue. But no, it's the same person. They just, Heino's just using his powers, I guess, to just destroy this echo, this stray echo, I guess. Which is, it looks to be a carrier type, the ones that you use as a makeshift subway train, that we saw before. Could also be a father type, maybe. A father type, if you remember, is a type of echo that, bursts other echoes, yeah, and they're really large and everything. So we saw Heino rip apart this, this, like, I guess, strange echo that was maybe attacking people or something, or ended up in the wrong place. And then Heino collapses, right? So I misinterpreted that, because in the beginning you don't get any context at all, but Heino, I guess, collapses because he used a lot of his powers, I think we've seen that before. He used a lot of energy, Ethereum. And then, and then the problem was solved, but then we see this. Who's this? This seems to be someone who's emerging from that dead echo, right? And my guess is that it's maybe ÜLAR, but I'm not sure. The colors are different, so it's hard to tell. And then we stop. It always starts with a song I'm supposed to know. My mind came apart the seams as it sang along. All right. So we're back all the way here. If you remember, this is the timeline where I believe... Well, I don't have our information, I guess. But this is the timeline, I believe, where we're ÜLAR. We did the usual thing in the beginning. We stumbled around, got really confused about the whole world. We kind of teamed up with Heino, and we were looking for some kind of Echo person. Turns out that Echo was disguising themselves as a Renko Hyorin, and they were like selling some kind of device, and they were tricking everybody. I think we ended up saying to not, buy the device or take the device, and then we ended up finding ourselves, a copy of ourselves. Now, whether or not we're the copy or they're the copy, we don't know, but it seems like, it seems like at the very least, ÜLAR himself, the character we've been following, is not exactly a normal Renko Hyorin. At the very least, potentially is made out of some kind of like biomass, which is different from, the typical Renko Hyorin. But yeah, they captured us, they beat us up. Heino did not save us this time, and we were just simply captured, right? And then being interrogated, and we ended up over here. And supposed to remember the title of the song. Now, the first thing I think of is, let's see, look at my notes. The first thing I think of is like this. Well, let me see. Yeah, okay. So I think that's not correct, because that's the name of one of the endings, the one that involve Reen. Now, I think what you're supposed to do, they wait in the end, so the end as in endings, right? Sew them together. So I think you're supposed to maybe, like a bouquet to ephemerality, a bouquet for ephemerality. There you go. They sew them together as in like put them together, I guess. Reconnecting, connection successful, absolute directive, proceed. All right, let's see. This is new territory. You probably already know, but all our data is stored inside the Renko's fibers. Hyorins on their own are just mindless automatons, which is why you can rest assured. I'm not going to torture you or anything. Okay, is this the, the imposter ÜLAR saying that? I think. Class diviner. Wait, are we ÜLAR or? Because right now it's class diviner, so we're this ÜLAR, right? The puppeteer, and this is the other ÜLAR, or the ÜLAR we've been following. It's confusing, but the ÜLAR we've been following this entire time is the virtue null, right? Oh, you can also see these other ones, by the way. I don't think I checked these. Oscar, Ascensionist, right thread. I wonder what that represented, actually, the whole thread thing. I remember it being cut, but this was the person that kind of like led us towards the pit. Of course, there's Gunner, the mercenary, virtue abyssal. What does that mean, abyssal? I guess teleportation, right? We saw him teleport, actually. Maybe that's his power. Ike, Weaver, virtue is also no. Interesting. No. Tag Theo. Wait, what? Theo? Wait, who's Theo? I don't remember, actually. It's been a week, actually, since the last time I recorded. So it's been a while. I don't know if we met a Theo. Weaver. Reen. Yeah, everyone has different classes, it seems. Heino is the only solver, actually. It's funny because the Mr. Rainer Solve It service, I just assumed that everybody's a solver. They solve problems, and actually, it's only a specific type of job. Everyone else actually has very different jobs, actually. It seems like, anyway. Maybe? I don't know. Because this Heino is specifically the one that is a solver. But anyway, enough of looking at that. Let's go back. Alright, so this is the puppeteer. I'm not going to torture you or anything. Mutilation, endurance, and intelligence tests. Force feeding, artificial insemination. There are many ways to test if you're an echo or something else entirely. But fortunately for you, I don't have time for any of that. So, without further ado, I'll be taking your raincoat. You can't do that. The raincoat itself is like, I think organic, maybe. I don't know. Maybe not? Okay, now we're looking really weird. I guess not. Normally, yeah, because the raincoat hjörian normally is the raincoat itself. At least that's where its consciousness lies in. And like, you know, it wraps itself in a hjörian, which normally is like a weird well, not really organic actually. It's a weird like silicon type creature, right? Anyway, I guess our ÜLAR though is now transforming into some weird thing. Heh, aren't we cute? Who would have thought you weren't even an echo? Echo Study Corner. Okay, ILO. Or ELO? ILO? ELO? ELO. I think we've seen this person a few times already. In today's Echo Study Corner, we'll talk about the most fundamental concept in biology, evolution. There are so many types of echoes around, but all of them evolve from one little echo. What determines what type an echo will evolve to? The answer is EchoNet. The network that echoes use to communicate determines their role in echo society. The signal they receive will affect their further development. Here's a question for another time. Which life form resembles an echo through mimicry, but is actually its natural predator in the wild? Okay. Interesting. That does imply, yeah, that's what ÜLAR was, right? Like a predator of some sort. That's similar to an echo, but it's not. Anyway, this ÜLAR though, the imposter ÜLAR, which is probably the, you know, it's confusing, but you know, probably the real one. But the ÜLAR is just like, oops. I was just clicking on the actual picture itself, but it doesn't do anything, obviously. But yeah, the ÜLAR is bringing that piece of like fiber with him. It seems that was normally used. So the raincoat is real, though. I guess I thought it was like we were like doing this thing where the ÜLAR we know, you know, was actually one entity. Like the raincoat itself was not separate from his body, but it seems like it is actually. I mean, it's just like the raincoat hjörians. Oh, and got captured? What's happening? Well, it isn't the infamous Weaver Ike, now an underground hermit. Yeah, we remember Ike. You know, and I double checked the ending with Rain, by the way. You know how like a mysterious person shows up at the end? I think that was Ike. I double checked and it looks to be the same person. I didn't know who he was at the time. State your business. How cold? Aren't you curious about my newest find? If it's not worth my time, no need to worry about it. What I brought is a catalyst for the end stage of termination itself. I mean, yeah, that's what I kind of speculated. Oh, what the? Boom. I'm not in the mood for jokes. Oh, you won't know until you look into it. What if I'm right? Okay, you know, the real ÜLAR is much more smug. And again, they're raincoat hjörians, so even if they get decapitated, they're fine. Termination or not is definitely not a normal coat. What if I said it came from the Garden of Brilliance? I'll look into it. As long as you fulfill my requests. Of course, a give and take, right? As expected, he wants more junk. Okay. We did see, like, yeah, when we followed Ike before, we went to his like little home. He did like have a lot of like stuff in his room, you know. Ike's requests: a picture book, okay, series, Aterb, rank N, class Humo, typically sold in Dome, Ukron. Well, these aren't particularly rare or anything. Ukron, though, this is gonna be a problem. Okay. And here's another character. That's on TV, I guess. Maybe EchoNet TV. Hi guys, I'm Tovo. Today we'll be disassembling a weird echo I found outside. Why is it strange, you ask? Look closely. Instead of one input hole, it has two. When I found it, it was feeding on another echo. so I managed to catch it off guard. Man, these things are fast. I had it sedated for a few hours, but it should have worn off by now. When you attempt this at home, make sure to find a sharp tool to make a clean cut. And here we go. As you can see, they immediately start to vibrate and a dark liquid starts to pour out of the limb. Just like echoes. And that's about it. This one is no different from the others, I guess. I don't own a degree in ecology, but even I can tell it's almost the same. And I'll be wasting the broadcast here, so... You'll get to decide which part we'll cut off next. Oh. Okay. You know, it's just a little more casual, nonchalant thing to just cut up this innocent little animal. No, in a way, I guess, you know, Reiko Hyoryans are made out of, like, different materials. So in a way, it's more like they're cutting, like, a plant, you know? It's like the equivalent... Well, even a plant is, like... You know, I'm just thinking in the context of, like, if we were human, you know, if they were human. Like, even a plant is, like, you know, made out of organics. But I guess it'd be this, you know, it'd be like cutting a plant instead of, like, an animal. Because an animal, at the very least, especially a mammal, you know, is very similar to us, obviously, so it's much more abhorrent, you know, to like torture an animal. But a plant, eh. Or maybe just like an inanimate object, you know? I don't know, anyway. I mean, you know, either way, it's just gonna be horrible. Okay, fine. A leg. Another leg. That's the cheapest option. Are you guys poor? Well, they eventually cut off the whole thing anyway. Thank you for watching. You can try disassembling your own Echo, but you have to pay a fee to the Echo Protection Association. Though things like that might not be protected by that, so you can try finding them too. Or if it doesn't have 2 input holes, make 1. Until next time. Wait, so if it doesn't have 2 input holes, make 1. As in, like, just stab it. Anyway. Good. Koval, the Twitch streamer that likes to just cut up, you know, echoes. I don't know. It's weird. Alright, here's the gatekeeper. State your wish. I wish to obtain a Pastodome Ukran. What will you give up to obtain it? Choose one of the following. Give up 2 months worth of memories, or have a win streak at the PvP arena 20 times. Okay, this is like a, you know, MMORPG, like, quest option. Let's go with the PvP arena. You never know whom you'll encounter there, but I should be fine thanks to my Vice. Vice. ÜLAR's Vice. Puppet. Your will is not your own. Your decisions are influenced from outside the shell. As long as you accept that truth, you'll be granted the virtue of becoming the puppeteer yourself. A vice and a virtue. How's that connected? Tip from Mr. Rainer. Our vices are not flaws. They're conditions for becoming a stronger version of yourself. In short, our virtues are born out of polished flaws. Okay. So our vice... So ÜLAR's vice is basically, you know, the origin of his power. And by turning it into, like, a strength, you know, it becomes a virtue. Maybe. Very well. You have entered Dome Noi. Please be patient and stay still during the security check. The map for the purposes is provided in the attachment. Okay, we just cut up. Is normally what was supposed to happen? Okay. Can't really understand this, but I guess this is the map of Dome Noi. We hope you enjoy your stay. Alright, I guess they disassemble themselves and put themselves back together again. It's just a normal thing to do, really. And I guess, okay, so in order to get past the gatekeeper to go to Dome Ukran or whatever, I guess we'll do some PvP. I guess. Welcome to our live broadcast from PvP Arena. Why do they call it PvP though? You know, it's not a game. So, I mean, normally it'd be player versus player, but I mean, I guess you could still call it player. Well, the rules are simple. Once you're out of the circle, you lose. Each time you win, you get all of your opponent's points. Today's challenger is ÜLAR, the puppeteer, versus Sander, the shadow, Frank, the impenetrable shell, Claus, the runner, and ÜLAR kills them all, I think. Well, kill, because they're all immortal anyway. They respawn, but you know. Come on, can't you get more serious about this? Now we meet our final challenger, Gunner, the Abyssal. Ooh, shark teeth guy. What kind of title is that? Stare. Anime. You know, very anime. Jung. Nothing personnel, kid. Oh, okay. Yeah, he won by just grabbing him, pushing him into the outside of the circle. That's like an OP power. You just do that? Shouldn't they have anyone more competent here? You should see the look on your face. Didn't even know what got you. Okay, and now ÜLAR is salty about that. Well, there's no point in arguing after I already won, is there? So get lost already. Damn it. I'll have to look for another way to get the pass. Alright, so we don't get through PvP. Unfortunately. Echo Study Corner. Did you know that originally echoes used hjörians as temporary hosts and a source of food? Is that why they always try to enter them? The food part is simple. Both hjörians and silica gel share the same chemical element, silicone. The only difference is that the silica gel capsules are infused with a substance that suppresses echoes' natural instincts. It's so effective that echoes never mature to begin with. However, back in the old days, in order to protect themselves from the harsh environment of their natural predators, echoes crawled into hjörians' inner hollows and fed on their innards until they matured. Sounds like a parasite. A mature echo would victoriously emerge from the hjörian horse with a mouth hole, ripping it apart and discarding the host's remains. Okay, like Alien, you know, the movie. Sort of. Good. Alright. It's Ike. Have you completed my request? I'm still on it. What's up? This coat. It's definitely abnormal. Just where did you get it from? Told you. What'd you find? Around 3% of it is coded in a language I'm familiar with, but the rest seems to be pure gibberish. What does the 3% cover? Only the basic life functions. Shape memory, senses, motor skills, a very limited data storage. It denies any patches, doesn't sporify nor regenerate on its own. As for the rest, I can't promise any results until I figure out the logic behind it. Anything else of interest? I'm not telling you until you do your part. You gotta get my manga, I guess, or something. What was it? I can't remember. I think it was a book? Or am I misremembering it? I don't know. Alright, now we're over here. Hi there, Rain the Savior. Rain the Savior. Rain the Savior. The Secessionist belief system branch focusing on the rain and the two titans. Allow yourself to get soaked and watch the world show its true colors. Okay, another branch of the, I guess, weird cult, I think is what they mentioned. The Secessionists? Secessionists. Welcome to the Massacre Arena. Today you'll experience a mind-blowing battle between two fierce echoes craving carnage. Ah yes, Pokemon. It's Pokemon now. Meet contender number 1, the Thrasher. Extremely aggressive and mobile, this echo is our veteran. And here's contender number 2, the Twister. This newcomer echo is sponsored by the farm. Remember to buy tomatoes at the farm. Or something, I don't know. Hashtag ad. Now place your bets and make sure to sew in your threads before the fight starts, or you'll miss out on half of the experience. Sew in your threads? What does that mean? I don't know what that means. I mean, obviously the raincoats, like, sewing your thread is normal, but what does that mean? You know, I don't know, miss out half the experience. Maybe it's a saying, you know, It's like an idiom, like sew in your threads, like, you know, like make sure to stay awake or something, right? Because otherwise, you know, when rain coherents sleep, they sporify, they turn into like weird fungus things. Maybe that's what they mean. Anyway, the key to getting the winner right is a mix of luck and knowledge of echoes. Both of these are genetically modified mutants grown on the farm. Number 1 emits psychic waves that affects other echoes in his vicinity and subjects them to sensory overload. It's already old, so the effects are weakened over time. Number 2 kills its prey by thrusting its multiple tongues into it and tearing it apart from the inside. Oop. Gas? Who are these people? What are they doing? Echo study corner time. La echo study today. In today's echo study corner, we'll discuss the main factor that drives massacre arena: aggression. Do echoes feel aggression towards their own kind? The answer is no, they don't. Not only are they highly social life forms, but all of them are interconnected on a higher level. The secret to passionate echo fights is the chemical they're injected with before the match. Due to the communication jamming component of the drug, they begin to perceive other echoes as enemy predators that threaten their community. Okay, so we trick them, because they normally are like connected to EchoNet, kind of like a hive mind maybe. But then we trick them into thinking that they're not connected, and they murder each other. Good, amazing. I feel like that's, you know, social commentary. Anyway, I'm really out of luck today. I would think the Guardians would show up. Guardians. I guess maybe the Guardians showed up and like maybe stopped the match or something. I don't know. I don't know what happened there. Hey ÜLAR, how we doing? Okay. ÜLAR is talking to ÜLAR. And this is our ÜLAR, just a blob. Not that well, I presume. Still, I need to find a way to pay Ike, or I'll never find... Received a message from Ike. Has he decoded it already? Attachment. No data? Is he messing with me? Sending in an empty container. Mr. Rainer, I hope you're doing well, dear friend. I come bearing urgent news. I've located the elusive artifact we've been trying to track down for so long. Titan Bell. Where is it? Here are the coordinates. You'll be heading towards the Titan. Alright, now here's a myth of the two Titans. That was mentioned before. The religion, you know. Mentioned something about the Titans. Or they're connected to it. The myth of the two Titans. An excerpt. When the Overseer fell down from the sky, its head got cracked in two. Out of it emerged the second Titan, the Veiled One, who vomited for 6 days straight, and his vomit became the unharvested sea. Okay. Its final breaths turned into Etheroids, who in turn animated the lifeless bodies of Hjörians, which the sea countlessly spawned. Upon witnessing the Veiled One's passing, the Overseer was overcome with grief. Liquid oozed out of his holes and became the rain that kept endlessly falling. Oh, is that right? So I guess it's always raining. I mean, it makes sense. Thematically, you know, raincoat Hjörians. They were called raincoats because maybe it's always raining. Unable to part with the second Titan, the Overseer fused their bodies into one part rising above ground and the other part below it. After this, the Titans never moved again. I guess the creation myth, you know, of the world. Finally! With this, I'll bring him back. I was using to break it to make it stay in one place. Be careful, my friend. The Titan is surrounded by a pool of metaslime, a new Newtonian substance. Newtonian? Newtonian? Is that from Isaac Newton or something? Is that... I don't know. Like, did Isaac Newton exist in this world? Or maybe I'm completely wrong. I just assume it's from the guy, you know, the guy who, I guess, invented gravity, maybe. Or not invented, but you know, the guy who had like an apple fall on his head. Anyway. Don't stop for a second or you get sucked in. Alright, run through the rain. Okay. Oh? Oh? We got sucked in. You didn't listen. You didn't listen. Imposter ÜLAR. Wait. Theo? Is that? I think that's Theo. Remember Theo? We saw it actually. The tag said Theo. We don't know who that is. Oh, over here now. Aren't these the flowers? You know, the flowers that contain memories? Dream of anything in particular? Field of the Undying? But how? The Titan. I don't have time for this. What's with all the hurry? The termination has already been successfully initiated. But the Titan bell! If I don't... Didn't you hear me? It's already over. All that's left is to put an end to our eternity. Isn't it wonderful? This time, once and for all of the Renko Hyorin's lives on Hyo will reach their final conclusion. A new cycle will never begin. It'll mark an end to our boredom. They will make sure of it. So please, let me hear your song. You ought to remember the words by now, Mr. Rainer. What? And now I'm more confused. Good. I mean, okay, so the imposter ÜLAR, which I don't know if still the imposter or not, died, you know, trying to get to this so-called Titan bell that they were very obsessed with for some reason. They need to, I guess, capture it to, like, do something, but if you bring back Theo, you know, bring back the dead somehow? Even though normally, you know, Renko Hyorins are immortal, right? But, you know, they got killed, but then they respawn in the Field of the Undying, which is where all the flowers are that contain the memories of Renko Hyorins, right? So they just respawn normally. They meet up with Reen, and Reen is saying the termination is already happening, so it's too late. Everyone's gonna die anyway. But then they called the imposter ÜLAR, you know, Mr. Rainer? Confusion? I don't know what that means. Exactly. Well, Mr. Rainer. Well, I mean, we know Mr. Rainer is the voice, you know, that gives all the announcements, you know, and it's kind of also like, for some reason, talking to our ÜLAR the whole time, but normally isn't supposed to be sentient, so I don't know, anyway. On a faraway star lived a nation of hard-working people. No matter what they did, they always tried their best. Whether they fought, argued, created, loved, or destroyed, they did so passionately. Each and every one of them had a simple wish: to be happy. Their idea of happiness lay in being productive. So bit by bit, they did their best to get rid of all of the unproductive things, of difficult words, of shameful memories, of confusing rituals, of the differences that caused conflict in the first place. Until finally, they got rid of the epitome of unproductivity itself. Death was no more, but something was amiss. Before they knew it, they couldn't produce a single emotion of their own. Before they knew it, they were starving. Okay. Come here. Eat all you want. Well, okay, the music just kind of, that was perfect timing. I don't know, anyway. A song is the basis of meaning, the origin of identity, a bridge for connection. Yet we kept counting. Oh, that was an animation actually. I might skip that. I don't know. Huh? Okay. Huh? And there's Heino. Heino is trying to live, I think. Oh, but not strong enough, I think. Nope, not even Heino. Maybe can't stop termination. But they keep trying, I guess. Yep, okay. What's going on? I don't know. I don't know. Something's happening. Ah, our Krot is sulking. Didn't you accumulate all this energy just for today? So much preparation, and for what? It barely lasted a moment. I knew you'd be able to one-shot this thing. That's funny language. It's like, you could be one-shot this thing. I knew you'd be able to one-shot this thing. But seeing in person really makes all the difference. Well, we won't be able to stop it spreading through the echo net. Well, at least the disconnected ones remain silent. Would it hurt you to try looking a little bit more relieved? Okay. Although, on some level, I understand. Alright, so no, okay, Heino did actually succeed, I think. They actually did stop the initial, whatever it was, this creature that started like murdering everything. But not without losses, I guess. Obviously, Reen is dead. All the flowers were killed, it seems. They all wilted. It's not the outcome you wanted. Epilogue. Okay. What? Well, I guess. Well, hold on. Let me save. I guess delete this. Save over here. Okay. Oh, we can click on stuff. Let's see. No excuse. Fibers. Body. Body. Retrieved in a half-decomposed state, covered in mucus-filled blisters, characteristic to decomposition process of iphyte-based organisms. There are multiple microscopic scars covering the tissue. Head. Subject's head underwent several deformations after separation of the raincoat. Upper extremity. Shows the common signs of decay, marbling, dark suns, loss of mass. Most likely shaped to resemble a raincoat hjörian's upper limb by raincoat's fiber memory. Notable difference, claw-like plates at the tips of the fingers. Content of stomach. The subject has a fully operational digestive tract. Aside from barely digested silica gel pieces, the subject has evidently consumed echoes as his main source of nutrition. The analysis shows that the genetic material found in the stomach cavity belongs to a single echo. Makes sense. So, okay, I'm assuming this is our ÜLAR. Dissected. And fibers. The fibers are artificial origin. The fiber data mostly consists of unparsable gibberish. Okay, so the raincoat itself is just completely alien. It's not like the other raincoat hjörians. And I guess that confirms that, yeah, they eat echoes. They're our ÜLAR is the predator that eats normally eats echoes, right? And that's why they're so hungry the entire time. They wanted to eat an echo, but they didn't know that for some reason. Maybe because this raincoat right here took over their body, right? Just like a raincoat hjörian, they transform into like a separate consciousness entirely, and that's what happened. They were like a weird like combination of things, and that's why they were so confused. But obviously, why? I don't know. Like, where did they come from? What is his rank code? What does this have to do with Termination Day? I don't know. Uh, is that it? Did I press Afterward? Okay. Afterward. Hello, me. You have finished Mr. Rayner's salvage service. Really? I don't feel like I did, but the themes I had in my head while writing the script were digital age, endless, and hunger. While the main ideas stay roughly the same as when I started the project, the details underwent a lot of changes during the development process, and I'm happy with the end result. Finally get to make a cute text adventure about small animals. Wait, small animals. It even has pictures. Is there anything technology is not capable of these days? Wow. This story lacks Hano's presence, but I was writing the script. As I was writing the script, he made me understand that he's ultimately not interested in being around ÜLAR, which is why he got up and left. The bits I had most fun with are the extras. Maybe next time I should make a game that consists entirely out of commercials and short, pseudo-educational videos. The future of online entertainment is so exciting. Possibilities are endless. Perhaps it'll be a story about a character who can't lift a spoon no matter what they do, drop it over and over again, all while streaming it live. The food keeps spilling all over the table, yet they frantically try lifting it again with awkward laughter and distressed noises, only for them to dissolve into a never-ending string of thank yous, as the chat box on the side explodes with avalanche of reactions, ranging from pitying to grateful. Then we could all truly laugh together. You know, it just sounds like a typical streamer. Thank you for reading it to the end. Good luck finding all the info collectibles if you haven't caught all of them yet. So I might have missed some, actually. There might have been some things you click on that I might have missed. I think it was like the QS codes, you know, or something. As for now, here's the glossary. We can find all the terms sprinkled throughout the game. Wow. And etherane. Okay. Well, this might be useful, actually. Hold on. I mean, here's the map. We saw this before. That's the dome map. Ethroids, we kind of already know. They're like modified magnetized life forms. Echoes, we kind of already know about. Wrinkle urines, artifacts. The umbrella that makes you invisible. Termination Day, though. Yeah. Okay, that just describes, like... It doesn't say why it happens. It just says what it is. No, okay, I think I already got all these. Is that it? You know? Is that it? Ooh, wait. This is different, actually. Because we're in a different person, we actually have different data, as it turns out. Strange. I never actually checked any of this. I wonder if it changes as the more we go on. Hold on. Well, let me look at this. Oh, why is that weird? Why is it like that? I don't know. A little glitch there. But ÜLAR, title, Eye Gorger, Solo, specialization, Humo, artifact count 371, current target Titan Bell. They have a lot of artifacts under their belts, I guess. Interesting. Titan Bell. What is Titan Bell? Yeah, we didn't really know what that was, even though this ÜLAR was searching for it. It's a rare rank, or ultra rare. A rare case of an artifact containing a UR artifact. Contains world-class UR artifact substance capable of reverting objects to their original form upon release. To release it, you have to destroy the Titan Bell. As Titan Bell is constantly changing its shape and location, it is almost impossible to track down. Tip from Mr. Radar, even though Titan Bell has a bell in its name, it only looked that way when it was put in the artifact registry. Let's try breaking all artifacts we find, just in case. Okay. So I guess that's why this ÜLAR was searching for it. I think they were trying to bring back Theo for some reason. I'm assuming this Theo character had like a final death, maybe, that deleted their consciousness from the cloud and they actually died, right? Instead of just simply respawning. And for some reason, ÜLAR is obsessed with like bringing him back for some reason. Maybe. That's what I got from that. Also, the Truth Channel. Okay, it's like YouTube. Echoes and connection, are they really controlling us? Myth of the Fall. Again, weird UI. I don't know why the UI is like this, but domes, cages to keep us inside. Purification and pollution. The asteroids are polluting our ether. A Titan. What's inside? Inside the Titan. Approved patches. Dome has long-term population eradication plan. Okay, these are basically conspiracy theories. You know, crazy conspiracy theories. That's what this guy likes to watch. All right. So I guess that's all 3 endings of Mr. Rayner's Salvage Service. Definitely interesting experience. There might be a few things I'm missing here and there. I know there's some Easter eggs you can still find by clicking on certain parts of the picture. I didn't really think to do that because I didn't realize that was what you're supposed to do. I only realized that later, near the end. But, you know, I don't think it's super important. I guess I'll check it off screen, but I don't think it's going to be super important to like find every little Easter egg. I don't think it really would give you a clear picture, I feel like. But that's the thing, right? I feel like the story definitely was strange. I guess it's, you know, it's typical of like an etherane story to be very surreal and kind of hard to understand, I guess. So I guess it's nothing new there, you know? I mean, it's not so obscure that it's completely going over my head. You know, I understand some of it. Obviously, it's a sci-fi kind of story. There's a lot of concepts that are introduced throughout the game that kind of explains a few things. You know, I do like when you click on stuff, it kind of like gives you definitions and stuff and everything. It keeps in the theme. You know, and obviously the protagonist for most of the game is confused about the world, just like we are, right? It's a classic like audience surrogate. But yeah. What else? I also like the art. You know, obviously there's tons of pictures, I feel like. It's interesting. I mentioned before how this was in the Twine engine, I think, which, as far as I know, is normally used for just like text adventure, you know, just full on just text without any pictures. So it's interesting that this one has so many pictures to it. I don't know if anyone else did the same thing or did the same thing, but it's, you know, my first Twine game with so many pictures, which is nice. You know, I do like it because obviously it looks good and, you know, it adds to the story in many ways. Really, it kind of feels like I'm reading like a comic or something, but you know, but it's very cool, and the sci-fi concepts are interesting too. I like how, you know, again, it's like very strange, but like it's interesting, right? For example, the you know, the giant echoes used as like a subway train. You know, it's just really weird, but I like it. I like that. Also, strangely, like a little gory at times too. You know, even though it's not presented to be like, often it's like casual, right? It's like, hey, I'm just cutting up this echo. You know, don't worry about it. But like, it's actually very gory. I feel like if you kind of read between the lines and assume, you know, obviously the things they're cutting up are you know, organic, right? So they're just cutting up animals, but obviously within the context of their society, they don't really think that way. But anyway, crazy how we got from Hellshark 1 being a generic RPG maker to this one. I guess so. I remember Hellshark 1. Well, it's been a while. Hellshark 1, I still, you know, felt like it was kind of the same kind of vibe, actually. Yeah, the same, like, very surreal, very, like, you know, hard to make sense in the beginning. Still is, to be honest. Maybe I'm just dumb, but it still kind of is very confusing. You know, they introduce a lot of concepts, a lot of terms, and they define them and all that. And when you look back at the other previous scenes, it makes more sense, especially in the beginning. You know, in the beginning, I didn't understand anything at all, but now that I looked back, it made much more sense. But man, the overarching story, I still don't really get. You know, like, who was ÜLAR exactly, right? Other than just being like a weird creature, 8 echoes, like normally, right? At least that's their like base form. But there also was, I assume, they evolved from like maybe the echo that we saw in the very beginning that was killed by Hano, right? So this weird evolution of like these fibers that the raincoats have that came from somewhere, I don't know, combined with the organic form of the echo, but like they eat echoes, maybe, I don't know. Maybe the predators of echoes were originally echoes in the first place. I don't know. Anyway, but either way, it's we kind of know the biology sort of like our ÜLAR, but why? How did they come to form exactly? Were they just unique, right? Was it just the next stage of evolution? Did they come from somewhere necessarily? Was there a purpose to them? I don't know. Was it just all just coincidence? I have no idea. But for some reason, we followed this ÜLAR for most of the game, and I mean, especially right, like why ÜLAR, right? Why are they like a clone of a ÜLAR? That's also kind of confusing, right? I know in the true route, and I think this is the true ending, we followed obviously the imposter, quote unquote, ÜLAR, which I also question if they're real too, but I think they are. I think they were the real ÜLAR. Why do we copy them, right? Maybe it's just coincidence that we copy them, right? We just had to copy something, so they copied him. I mean, just like the other Echo, right? Just like the other Echo that we found. Or was it an echo or an artifact? It was an artifact, I think, that like disguised themselves as like a raincoat, the star or whatever, that like person that sells a lot of stuff, So maybe maybe it's not out of the realm of possibility that it was just a coincidence, that they copied like a random raincoat hjörian, and that's how they came to be. Man, I have so much to talk about because I just don't understand most of this, but yeah, that was the raincoat. Again, ÜLAR's origins is just so mysterious. I mean, in a way, that's good. You do want to kind of keep something mysterious, I feel like. So it's, you leave it to the rest, to your imagination, right? And that makes it more fun to like, speculate and all that. But yeah, definitely, it's like I still don't really understand what ÜLAR is necessarily. There was also, I wanted to mention the clone as well, right? The clone that we saw in that cocoon in Reen's place. I do wonder about that too. But it might have been just the real ÜLAR. That's my guess. It was just simply the real ÜLAR that was beat up by Heino, and so they ended up in the cocoon maybe for healing or something. And I think our ÜLAR, it's very confusing, but it's two ÜLARs. But our ÜLAR maybe assume that it was another clone, maybe, and that's why they freaked out, right? I was wondering why they freaked out. Maybe it has something to do with the fact that in the end, in the route to Reen anyway, it seems like ÜLAR was kind of developing affection actually with Reen. They were kind of like being best buddies, like kind of like a parent-child kind of relationship, maybe. But maybe that's why they freaked out, Maybe they thought that they tricked Reen into thinking that they're the real ÜLAR, but the whole time Reen might have already knew. That was the implication as well. Reen already knew from the beginning that our ÜLAR was a fake. But, they ended up taking care of him anyway, right? So that was interesting. I don't know. It's definitely really hard to understand all the motivation of all these characters, actually. It seems like Reen wanted Termination Day. Ike was like researching something about like maybe, I don't know, collecting a lot of artifacts to do something maybe to do with Termination Day. I don't know. Seems like, though, it ends up not being too bad, I guess. Heino seems to just simply come up and clean everything up. They just come in and like, they fix everything because they're just a badass. Even though we never, see them very often. And they don't talk, so it's not much not much character development from like a silent character, but they just seem to clean everything up. So I assume in the other endings too, they also kind of like quote unquote save the world, but albeit with some losses, I imagine. People still die, I guess, which probably Heino is kind of sad about, maybe. I mean, especially in this ending right here, this picture right here, I assume they're especially sad about like maybe Reen dying for some reason. Did they know each other? I don't know. We never see them together, so we don't know. But they seem especially sad. Especially, obviously the cloud is broken, so maybe that implies. I feel like there wasn't there like two places. There was the Field of the Undying, and apparently there was another area that had also a cloud that like would save the memories of the raincoat hjörians, right? So I don't know. Maybe Reen's plan was to simply cut off all of it, right? Cut off all of the ways to like resurrect, and therefore give a final death to all the raincoat hjörians. So maybe the idea is it's like bittersweet maybe, where it's kind of like Hano did stop Termination, but maybe a lot of the flowers got destroyed, so maybe it's kind of like the idea is that some of the Reiko Hyoryans are mortal now, right? They're not immortal anymore, they're mortal, which I guess would, you know, they will run into like a whole heaps of problems now, because now they realize they can die, maybe, I don't know. But we don't really see the aftermath of that, I guess, maybe, I don't know. Or maybe it really depends on how this like weird creature that, you know, killed a lot of Reiko Hyoryans, you know, how widespread they were, you know. And yeah, I don't know. Again, I still don't know. This Termination creature, they could be related to our ÜLAR, but I still don't really know, because they seem to have acted independently of our ÜLAR in one ending, so it's not the same, I guess. But maybe they're made from the same cloth, maybe, I'm guessing. Maybe well, here's my like just full-on speculation, but maybe our ÜLAR, you know, the fibers that we saw in the, you know, epilogue, they are made from the same material as Termination, you know, the Termination creature, who are the natural predators of the Reiko Hyoryans that somehow came to life for some reason. Don't know why, but that's how they came to be. And it was starving, it was hungry, you know, just like ÜLAR. But then again, I don't know. I still don't really know, because we saw his stomach. He only ate like an echo, I think. Like there was some silica gel, obviously, you know, from the story where he was just trying to eat silica gel to satiate his hunger, but it didn't really work out. So instead, maybe he ate like an echo at one point. I remember we did see him go outside with Ike, and then he sneaks out, and then he does something. I assume eats something, and then, you know, Ike captures him and puts him back into like a, you know, glass jar, but then releases him. You know, Ike, you know, was afraid of him for some reason. I don't know. He seems to only eat echoes though. I don't know. Maybe he does both. Maybe they eats echoes, but also Reiko Hyoryans. The poems, you know, seems to imply that the monster likes to eat, like, you know, maybe negative emotions, maybe like vices. I don't know, something like that. Again, one of the endings where our ÜLAR jumps into the pit and starts eating things. I assume he's eating like maybe the vestiges of like lingering memories of like the Reiko Hyoryans that, you know, jumped down to the pit, maybe? I don't know, something like that. I don't know, there's just so many moving parts. There's also like the red fog that got in somehow. There's also like various like factions, like the sentientnesses, you know. Apparently there was the Guardians. What were the Guardians again? I don't remember. Why did they gas the place? I don't remember. They might have been mentioned before. Well, anyway. Maybe the creature just spits out incomplete ÜLARs? Like in Hello Charlotte? No, I don't know. I don't want to compare it to Hello Charlotte. I feel like it's a different, you know, gaming, different universe entirely. You know? I don't think etherane would like make that direct of a connection. Though I do wonder, actually, is there like there probably is some kind of Easter egg, you know, though, that connects this game to Hello Charlotte that I might have missed. Who knows? Anyway, I you know, I would expect to see it. But man, all right, I'm just rambling at this point, you know. I'm just trying to like understand the story. It's gonna be like 5 hours of me just rambling, like in a loop, trying to understand what this story is. But anyway, just to summarize, basically, it's a very interesting world, you know. It may not be the most, I guess, coherent, you know, story, at least to me. Again, maybe I'm stupid. Maybe I don't, you know, understand all of it, but definitely a very interesting world though. I like that though. I like the world building, you know, how like it just kind of like casually introduces a lot of things that just are very surreal and strange, you know, and just don't make sense. But then maybe later on you kind of understand a little bit more as you go through the story. I like that. I like how like this whole like world is constructed, and, you know, there's like very like sci-fi, like kind of like, I don't know, probably some kind of like metaphor for like, you know, real life, obviously, how we're kind of all connected, you know, with the internet, right? But yet we maybe are not connected like the echoes, you know, like the echoes are like connected in a way to make sure they're all like on the same page. But then, you know, even though we have access to that kind of technology, we don't use it properly or something. I don't know. That's what I got. Some kind of theme regarding that. And probably there's like different kind of themes too, like going on at the same time. But man, I'm surprised that we don't solve a lot of problems though. You know, like it's called Mr. Rayner's Solve It service. We don't actually solve a lot of problems. Which leads me to another thing actually. The gameplay. The gameplay is, I mean, it's very basic. It's like very small like mini games. But you know, it's kind of cool. Again, in Twine, you know, as far as I know, people don't usually add gameplay to like a Twine engine, you know, at least from what I've seen. So that's interesting. I wonder how the developer managed to do that. I don't think the engine is made to have like actual gameplay. It's very, you know, very janky otherwise. I don't know. But it was kind of cool, you know, just a little like, I like that too, you know, whenever you have like a very like story focused game, I do like the idea of just breaking it up with a little bit of gameplay, especially if it's gameplay that's kind of like thematic or like connected with the actual story, you know, not just like a non sequitur or sequitur. Is that what's the word? Anyway, not like something that doesn't have any connection to the game at all. I like it when it does. You know, usually those kind of games I like. But yeah, man, I don't know. I'm rambling. It's a very cool. I am left a little unsatisfied though. Maybe if I dig into this more, maybe I understand. But man, like I really can't really give like a conclusive like this is what the story is about. You know, it's like I don't get it myself really. Even in Hello Charlotte, in Hello Charlotte, you know, the entire series itself, I feel like it was also kind of surreal and strange, but I could at least give a little bit of what the story was about, you know? Right? I mean, obviously the world itself is crazy and all that, but at least there's a little bit of a thread where you can like understand what it's about. But this one, I don't know. Especially because of the change of perspective in the true ending. Ironically, the true ending just makes it more confusing. You know, you would think the true ending would clear up some things, but I don't feel like it does. It just makes it more mysterious. I don't know. But, you know, I like it. I think the reason why I like is I enjoy the text, you know. It's not too flowery, which I like, you know. It's not, ironically, the words themselves, you know, maybe aside from maybe the poems, but, you know, poems are meant to be like a little flowery and fancy, I guess. But other than that, I do like how the story is written, you know. It's like very, I don't know, I mean, normal, I guess. It's just written in a very, like, entertaining way, which I like. And obviously, yeah, I think the developer mentioned in the Afterward about the commercials. You know, the commercials I also kind of like too. They're kind of like silly little breaks in the story that also kind of maybe add into the theme of the game, you know? Kind of like that too. It also kind of like, you know, obviously teaches you about the world itself in an entertaining way. I like that too. Anyway, that's basically it. I feel like the only negative is for me anyways, that I'm too dumb to understand the whole scope of like what this entire game is about. But hey, I enjoyed my time with this game. That's basically it. That's what I want to say. All right. That was it for Mr. Rayner's Solve It service. I guess if you didn't know, I stream these games live on Twitch, so check me out over there if you're interested. I also have other videos on the YouTube channel if you want to look for those if you want. There's, you know, other games that I played from the same developer actually, if you're interested. Which is like, I believe, Hello Charlotte, and there's another game too. It's kind of like based on religion. It had a long name. Those without, or tomorrow won't come for those without blank, or something like that. It had like a really long name. It was really strange. Anyway, you can look for that too if you want. All right, thanks for watching. Yeah, tomorrow never comes for those without. Yeah, thanks for watching. Until next time, see you then.